wrestling fans, and more importantly, 12 gauge professional wrestling fans. Welcome to a special edition of Strong Style. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York, and joining me at this time, he is one half of the main event coming up this weekend up at the Coosa Valley Fairgrounds here at 12 gauge, the House of Fears. He's going to take on the Devil Ryan Mark. He is the current 12 gauge pro wrestling heavyweight champion, and I'm not done. He's also the 901 Wrestling 1819 champion. Yep, he's a double champ. He is the Memphis made monster, Walker 13. How are you, bud?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I still people ask me that now that you're being cheered a lot more, am I still a little afraid of you? And yes, I'm very glad that we are over an internet connection and that we aren't. I actually have guards posted at the door just to give me a heads up and a fire escape if I need it. But yeah, other than that, it is great to have you on. You are the double champ, and like I said before this show came on, I do want to give 901 Wrestling not only a shout out for all the amazing things I hear about them, but I want to give you the platform right now to talk about 901 Wrestling.
I appreciate that, and thank you for having me on. 901 Wrestling essentially gave me my start. When I first started wrestling, nobody really wanted to take a chance on me, and 901 Wrestling did. Big shout out to Tommy Jacks, Billy Robertson, and everybody involved over there. I mean, they put on uh, the best wrestling in the Memphis area and beyond. They've done it for a little over 10 years now.
Mm.
So if you're ever in the Memphis area, I would highly recommend checking out a 901 wrestling show because it's going to be an environment like you've never seen before.
And Memphis is one of those towns that not only does it need to have professional wrestling, but it needs to have good quality professional wrestling, and it seems like 901's right there for that.
I agree with that. And there are a lot of wrestling shows in Memphis, and I'm not here to trash anybody else's show. That's not what I'm about. But I can speak from experience when I say at 901 we keep the tradition of traditional Memphis wrestling alive as much as possible. And I feel like we do so to a higher caliber, and we keep true to the tradition more than some other shows might. And that's something really special that every time the fans come in, they forget about their life for an hour and a half, and they get to see something that was that they got to see when they were kids. We've had plenty of people say that it reminds them of the wrestling they saw in the Coliseum and the Channel Five studio, and the fact that
Mhm.
we're able to replicate something close to that is amazing in and of itself.
Yeah, quick sidebar because I don't like talking about myself, especially on these shows. But everybody that always asks me why I'm so into wrestling and stuff like that, and I said, well, it's what any form of entertainment, but any sport or anything should be, whether it's a movie, whether it's whatever. But to me, it's wrestling. It's I'm a big Alice in Wonderland fan, so for that hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, however long that show is, that's my escape down the rabbit hole into a different adventure. Something that I don't deal with every day. You can take a break from whatever's going on, good or bad, in your life, and you get that 2 to 3 hours to just be in the fun house. And that's wrestling to me.
Agreed. Because at the end of the day, everybody has something going on. Whether, like you said, it's good or it's bad or it's indifferent. There's always some situations that somebody's faced with, and the fact that we can go to a building that has a ring set up and lights and music and characters and escape that for an hour and a half to 3 hours is an opportunity that I will never take for granted. The fact that I get to be part of that, take people away for a little bit I will never take that for granted.
And it's nothing personal to other sports because I mean I'm big in other ones too, but there's no other form of entertainment where you can actually be such an interactive part of the show. At baseball, you're behind that wall. At other ones, you're behind the barriers. No matter if you're at a movie, you can't be a part of the movie. You can watch it. You might could dress like your favorite character or buy a special commemorative glass or something. But wrestling allows you to be a part of the show, and to me, that's what makes it just unlike anything else.
I agree because it's the only sport where you have direct fan interaction.
Mm-hmm.
If you boo your least favorite wrestler, they're going to say something back to you.
Mm-hmm.
It might not always be something that you like, that they say back to you. But that's the beauty of it is you pay for your ticket and you're submerged into the show. You're a part of the show. And like you said, that's something that no other sport offers.
Absolutely, and that's just the risk you take. Is that sometimes it's like going to the zoo, but the animals can bark back. So if you poke the bear, he very much may take a swipe at you.
That's very true. That's very true.
But on top of 901 wrestling, I also want to get into 12 gauge professional wrestling and Rocky Shaw up there, and what has being a part of 12 gauge meant to you.
Honestly, it means a lot to me to be given such a great opportunity to be the first champion. You know, I've been wrestling for almost 10 years now, and you know, I've traveled around. I've been fortunate enough to be able to perform all over the country. But there's something about 12 gauge pro wrestling that as soon as I walked in, I felt at home, and I felt like everything that was going on there would change Georgia wrestling as we see it. And I think we're on the track to do that. So to be able to be a part of it is a huge honor for me, and I will always carry this with pride. I told Rocky that whoever takes this from me is going to have to take it off my cold dead hands.
Well, oddly enough, that's a great way to phrase it because, as I said, you are one half of the main event where we are going to get the Memphis Made Monster, and we are going to get, I guess, the Georgia Devil, or we're going to get the Devil Ryan Marks over here in a coffin match. Um, have you ever been in a coffin match up until now?
I have never been in a casket match, but I have been in a buried alive match,
Ooh,
which
that
is
may be worse.
it's very similar, but also completely different because
Yeah,
usually in a casket match, the casket is right next to the ring. You know, you don't have to go very far, but in a buried alive match, you know, the ring is so far from the outside where the grave is dug that you have to not only incapacitate your opponent long enough to get them there, but then you also have to put them in the grave and put the dirt on. With the casket match, I'm not going to say that it's easier because you add the element of the casket itself that I've seen used as a weapon in many casket matches. So they
yeah,
both have their pros and cons. But yeah, this is going to be a completely different experience for me.
definitely so. And you have had, I know you have had run-ins before this. You've crossed paths with, um, we'll call him the prodigal son, Ryan Marks. But only here recently have we seen this devil side come out in him. And I don't know if there was a switch that clicked, but on the last show, the one you won the title when you defeated him at the end of the tournament, he made his presence felt very early in that show as he attacked you after your semifinal win because he knew he had to do something different in order to take you out.
Yeah, I will say that's not something that I was expecting even from him. Um, but I could see his point of view. You know, you have somebody that is similar to you in size and in stature and in you know style of wrestling, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But someone who has you know who is a little bit different. So as somebody who has been in shoes similar to Ryan Mark's shoes before, I could see the panic and I could see the what's the phrase the alternate plan that he had put in place for that. I could see the reasoning behind that. But what he doesn't realize is that all he did was put a target on his own back. All he did was make things harder for himself, and you see how that ended. But for some reason, he just can't let it go. Can't let it go.
No, he definitely can't. I know I have spoken to him. I have crossed him past different places too, and it's one of the first things he brings up. No matter where I see him, is either about the plan he has in store, and he hasn't told me the plan, and I'm glad because I don't know if I would be of much assistance because he scares me a little bit too. I'm not sure if I'm going to sit in the front row for this particular battle or not. I may sit a few rows back, maybe behind the father and son podcast or something. I feel like maybe Carson will protect me, or Jeff used to be a police officer, so maybe he knows some kung fu or something. Maybe that'll help. But Yeah, he is. Ryan is come up with some master plan. I think Rocky thought making this a casket match was going to derail that, and I think in the same way that Mark's attacking you woke you up in a different way. I think when Rocky made this a casket match, it woke the devil up, and I think he's going to be turned up to 11 this Saturday as well.
Look, Jeremy, I've said this before. Uh, you could tell based on the words that Ryan had to say in his promo that he's a little shaken up, that he hasn't slept a whole lot. That shows me that I'm in his head. And all of this could have been prevented if he had just focused less on Rocky Shaw and more on the task at hand, which was taking me out for this. But I'm not sure if he really wants this title. I'm honestly not sure what he wants because there are some days that he'll fly off the handle and attack Cal Charisma. There's sometimes he'll fly off the handle and try to attack the Father Son podcast. And then some days he gets in Rocky's face. I don't know what the devil Ryan Marks is looking for, but I'm afraid that he's going to find it come October 18th, and he's not going to be happy with what he finds.
Yeah, I can see that. It's like he's trying to fight multiple sides of the castle, and maybe he needs to concentrate his attack a little more.
Yeah, it seems like he's all offense and no defense.
And programming note for people who don't know, we have Walker on tonight. This is Tuesday. Ryan is going to be on tomorrow night. So he will actually get a chance to see this and respond. I'm sure you're going to respond as well to what he says. But um, we'll get back to that in a second because we have some fan questions. And
Okay.
they came from a handful of fans. I'm just going to mention a couple of them. In fact, Kyle Charisma sent in some. As now that he is being cheered because he stood up for Carson and Jeff that we just talked about, we get to see the good Kyle Charisma. But Matt Williams, who is at a bunch of these, I don't think he's the fan that you're supposed to chop. I think that is a different fan. I think Matt is
That's Chris
little,
Ross.
yeah. I was about to
Yep.
say, yeah, I think Matt's a little smarter than that because that guy has a right to the guy that's getting chopped. He has a right to be a little scared. As somebody who used to get chopped a lot when I trained to do this, you never get used to it, especially when somebody does it right. So yeah, you don't know what you're getting stepped into until you actually get hit, and it's something else.
Hey, he
But
signed up for it, so that's on him ultimately.
yeah, that's I know other fans that are like, I just want to get chopped, and I've talked most of them out of it. One of them is a female fan, and I was like, I can arrange that because it has to be a female that does it to you. I said, but you really want to rethink that. I would almost rather take a chair shot than get chopped.
Yeah, you know the original purpose of the chop was to stop your heart. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah, just like
It's
the heart
crazy.
punch that they had to outlaw
Exactly. Exactly.
because it actually worked.
Yeah.
Let's get with some of Matt's questions here. He says, "Can we expect some power moves to Ryan Mark into the casket?"
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes because I have lifted Ryan Marks a lot in the past, and I think it would be poetic for Walker 13 to at least choke slam Ryan Marks into the casket.
Ooh, man, I hope. I think Julie's going to be there. I hope Julie gets a great photo of that because that might be a good T-shirt going forward. Sorry, Ryan, nothing personal. Sometimes somebody gets to be Michael Jordan. Sometimes you're the guy he dunked on. It's just how life works sometimes. Um, he also wanted to know: have you seen the casket? Is it airtight? Any fears?
I've not seen the casket, no, but I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid because I've been in much scarier situations before. I've been in a lot more dangerous situations before. I feel like darkness is my friend. Darkness has gotten me through a lot of tough times. You know, when you become close to danger and the darkness and things of that nature and close to true evil the way that I have, there's not a whole lot that can really scare you.
I would echo that. If you've ever visited the Shadows, and people that have will know what I'm talking about. If you've ever visited the Shadows and wondered if you were going to make it back out, yeah, it's a place unlike anything else.
And once you've made it out, there's really not a whole lot that can
No,
change you after that.
there's really not. Um, who chose your awesome theme music? And he's talking about Oingo Boingo's Dead Man Party.
I did actually. There is a certain level that I reach when I'm pushed to a certain point, and that is when I invite my opponent to Dead Man's Party. It's the shirt, it's the tie, it's the face paint, it's the music. It's more of a depraved version of myself that I try to keep locked away for the most part. But sometimes it gets brought out. Um, Ryan Marks, as you saw, brought it out. It's
Yeah.
honestly it's a good release. It's almost like you've seen the Purge movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's one time a year that you get to put on the mask and do whatever you want. And there's one time every few months or so that I get to put on the shirt and the tie and the face paint and hear the music, and things get crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to watch via satellite feed now. I'm not going to be in the arena for this match. I think I might watch from my car. I might watch on the phone maybe, but I'm not going to see where the car's at. But no, actually, I'll be honest. I am so interested in this match that outside of being in the ring, I think I'm going to have the catbird seat where I'm at. Yeah, in a way, this is how I described it to somebody, and maybe this is something you've said before, or maybe you want to use it going forward. I said in professional wrestling, most of the time, the most of the characters that people can identify with, or can either get behind or get against so quickly, are when it's really just your personality and you turned up to 11. Well, I think Walker 13 is you turned up to 11. When the dead man's party music hits, I think you turn it up to 13.
I see what you did there, and I like it. I have to agree with that, man. I've always been kind of a weird kid, and that's definitely translated. You know, growing up and especially into the Walker 13 era of my life. But yeah, I tell everybody that the most authentic, the most authentic person that you can be in a wrestling ring is yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
when I tell people that, it usually scares them because they're afraid of. But
That's
no,
why I said
you
whether
know,
you're
it's
cheered or not, you still scare me a little bit. So I'm going to stick with that.
you're safe, Jeremy. I like you. You're good.
All right, for now.
We'll see how this interview progresses. No
That's
pressure.
true. That's very true. We still have a little bit of time to go, and of course, we're talking to Walker 13, the Memphis made monster, the 901 Wrestling 1819 champion, and the 12 gauge professional wrestling heavyweight champion. Talking all about the House of Fear show this weekend in Rome. Bunch more questions, man. This is one of the biggest question turnouts I've had in a while for a guest. So
I'm
thank you for
honored.
that.
Absolutely, I'm honored.
Um, you are offering a seminar the day of the show. Anything you can share about what that will be like?
The biggest thing that I could share about the seminar is okay. I'll preface it by saying this. I just said a second ago that the most important part of wrestling, and I would say the most authentic thing that you can be in a wrestling ring is yourself. But a lot of people tend to try to be something completely different than what they are. They try to put on a persona that nobody believes in, that nobody understands.
Mm-hmm.
My seminar Saturday will help mitigate that and try to find what everybody, at least one thing that everybody in the seminar can implement in their wrestling and their persona, and find help them at least come a little closer to finding who they are.
I think that's important. I like people that try to do that in life, and I try to do that. I try to help people and help them find out who they really are, and how they can use that to help other people.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Um, Do you play WWE 2K25?
From time to time.
Have you seen the community creations made of you?
I've seen one. I don't know if it's the same one that this person is talking about, but
I don't know. He
I've
didn't
seen.
say.
It's really cool. These people that create these characters are really good at what they do. It's really cool. They had it down to the move set. You know,
Ooh,
they have my running crossbody in there. They've got my black hole slam in there. They've got it's really cool the stuff that these people the amount of time that these people have put into making these things is absolutely crazy to me.
as somebody who used to be one of those people, yeah, I understand. It's once again just like the title belt comment. It's very much a thing you do when you're single, and that is nothing personal to those people. But you tend to have a lot more money and a lot more time.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, well, you told me earlier that you got a title, as you being single. I got two, brother.
Yeah, and
Brooding in
all
the
I had to do,
darkness is not something is not really a bonding activity, I would say. So,
right. I see we have about 10 minutes left. Other than your own, what match on the card are you most interested in watching?
I'm really excited about Yonko Bailey versus Eden Monroe. I've seen what both of them are capable of.
Ooh,
Yonko is a Yonko is definitely an interesting guy. He is also the Moonshine Mangler, Mister Mule. If you get the chance to
mm,
look up Mister Mule, he's been known to do death matches. He's been known to do a lot of really wild things. And Yonko is somebody that I've shared the ring with on multiple occasions, and he is very unpredictable. Him
mm,
paired up with the star of the show, Eden Monroe, I've seen what she's capable of. She is very fast and very fluent and very quick with her movements. And she's not afraid to take a shortcut here and there. But whereas you have Eden and then you have Yonko, who is an absolute smashing machine and will go to no end to decapacitate his opponents. Did you hear what he said in his promo?
no, I somebody told me about the promo and I hadn't been able to find it.
I'll send it to you after this. But
Okay.
he said, let's play a game. He said, let's see how long it takes your crushed windpipe to heal. And that honestly is really cool. Like I thought that was really cool. I've never thought that to be a game that I would like to play, but since he brought it up, I honestly want to try it out now on Ryan Marks, and I think I might do that Saturday as well. So you might
Mm,
see two crush windpipes on that show. Um,
ooh,
but yeah, I'm very excited about Yonko Bailey versus Eden Monroe.
I can't lie. It's that I don't even know how to describe, but it's that carnival-esque feel to that. Like you would go to the old school carnivals to see two characters like that go at it, and that to me it might be something that just steals the show. It's going to put pressure on you guys to really deliver, which I think you will. But yeah, it's that's one I circled as soon as I saw Rocky announce that one. I said, first off, who is this guy over here, and second off, this could be really good.
Yeah, yeah. Yonko plays a lot of games, but also plays no games, and neither does Eden. So
Would agree.
we're gonna see how this shakes out.
Let's get past this other one. I want to get to Kyle's question. He says, I have a question for Walker, which is good because that's what I asked for him to do. How difficult is it balancing your schedule? Traveling between Tennessee and Georgia and wherever else you perform must be extremely exhausting. What helps you get through it? Meditation, snacks, certain albums or playlists?
That's a great question, Kyle. Kyle Charisma is amazing. Just want to point that out there. If you're watching this, Kyle, you are goaded. I would say what helps me is number one, thinking about all of the terrible things that I'm going to do to my opponent once I get to the venue. Um, and number two, really good playlists. I like to jam a lot of different styles of music. I like obviously heavy metal. I like '80s music. I've been on a Shaka Khan kick lately, believe it
Ooh,
or not. Yeah, I was I like to do a little car karaoke. I like to sing. I have a lot of fun with that, and then I go back to thinking about all the terrible things that I'm going to do to my opponent. And that's what gets me through, Jeremy.
Speaking of that, Kyle has a follow-up question.
Okay.
After the assault that Ryan Marks committed against myself, him meaning Kyle Charisma, and attempted assault of our fans, is there anything Kyle Charisma can do to help you bury the devil for good?
Another great question, Kyle. Um, Kyle, if you, I want you to have a front row seat for this because I said this before in my promo as well. I'm not just gonna hurt Ryan Marks for myself and to keep this. I'm gonna hurt Ryan Marks for what he did to you, for what he tried to do to the Father and Son podcast, for what he did to Lil J, and for what he
Hmm.
tried to do to Rocky Shaw. Ryan Marks is going to get every bit of penance that he has coming to him. And all I want you to do, Kyle Charisma, is I want you to enjoy it.
You know what? I think Kyle is going to enjoy that if things do go your way and you get to do the things you want to do to the devil Ryan Marks. I think it will be a good day for a lot of people. I'm still staying bipartisan in this particular thing, but because I'm media, I can't pick sides. But um,
Um,
I have to play it that way. That's the only way that you make it out safe is you have to play the middle. But
I offered
um,
you protection, Jeremy. Just know
that's
that.
true. That's true. You did. Maybe I do have to side one way over the other there. Um, but as we are finishing up with Walker 13 here on Strong Style, like I said, the House of Fears 12 Gauge Pro Wrestling show this Saturday at the Coosa Valley Fairgrounds. I believe doors at 6:30. You can show up a little before that, by the way, people. I promise you they'll let you in. And I believe the show starts at 7:30. Um, I'll leave it with this. Two questions. First one, what is your message to the fans about either what they can expect or just a message you want to send to the fans about this show?
Um, a message I would like to say to the fans is in your life, there's going to be a lot of people like Ryan Marks who are going to push you down, who are going to talk bad to you, who are going to insult you. But no matter what, I want you to never, ever stay down. Never let those people get in your head. Never let those people think that they have the upper hand on you. Because as long as you always keep fighting and keep getting back up and never stay down, you will come out on top. And a quick message to Ryan Marks as well. Uh, you've said a lot of things, Ryan. You had a lot of things to say, and you had a lot of interesting points of view on this situation, on Rocky Shaw, on the casket match, on everything. But just understand that you know just as well as I do that once you stood in the ring with me, there's not really anything like it, and there's nothing that can really prepare you for it either. So you can go out in the woods and hunt in your camo. You can blame Rocky Shaw, you can blame the fans, you can blame Kyle Charisma. Hell, you can blame Lil J for all I care. But at the end of the day, it's going to be you who has to go in that casket if things don't go your way. So never forget, Ryan Marks, that monsters are real.
And not only are they real, but he is going to meet one for the second time on Saturday.
Yes, for the second time, and maybe the last.
It definitely could be. And I'm going to leave it at that, actually, because I think that is a great place to put a bow on this one. Walker, I appreciate you being on. Um, we look forward to your match on Saturday. I think this is one of the most star-studded cards I've seen in a while, and I don't think this feud between you and Ryan can only end one way, and I think that's why it's a casket match.
I appreciate you having me, Jeremy, and I agree with you. I think that no matter who comes out on top, I think who's really going to come out on top is the fans of 12 Gauge Pro Wrestling in this. They're going to see some violence. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me, Jeremy. I really appreciate it.
Yep, definitely violence is promised. 12 Gauge woke up and chose violence, and so did Walker 13 and Ryan Mark. So we are going to see them both on Saturday, but we have reached the end of the show. Thanks for tuning in to a special edition of Strong Style. I'm Jeremy the Impact York. we will see you guys next time. Deuces, gooses. Go watch
Toodles.
wrestling.